Thanks everybody for joining the call. I'm really pleased you could make it today. If you watch the replay, make sure you watch to the end because at the end we have a very special offer for you. So with that said, probably you guys all know me. My name is Jack Hopman. I'm a local internet marketer and I'm here to help you. And normally I introduce you Tammy like, Tammy, can you see the screen and so? But last Sunday, I also followed Tammy training. And if you were on the training from last Sunday, it was about Power Pitch. So let me do it now much better. Tammy helps people who are struggling to get more clients this week. She does this by training people to write consistent pitches to promote their business. Her clients are thrilled that they can create scripts on demand that helps them new clients quickly and easily. Watch and learn now. So Tammy, you can take the screen and
Okay,
we are
great.
all thrilled to learn from you today.
Okay, great. You should be able to see the screen. It says stop, nobody sees, show my screen. Okay, now, does everybody see my screen? And can everybody hear me? Give me some yeses if you can see my screen and if you can hear me. Great, loud and clear, perfect. Okay, great. What Jack just did is he just used a sample of how he could write a simple few sentences using a formula, what I call the I help formula. So that's how he used that to introduce. What I'm going to do tonight is, I know some of you were here on Sunday, some of you weren't, but the good news is I got some real results from real people who were on the call on Sunday and who took action, and I want to share what they did. Many of you may know Yvonne Herbst. She took action on Sunday after hearing the Tammy's Power Pitch presentation, and that was the free training, and she wrote a power pitch using the formula that she learned. And she wrote me an email, and what she said was, she said, Tammy, I have been struggling to write a pitch for my BNI group, Business Networking International, and after she was on the webinar, she wrote this power pitch, which actually is the complete formula of the 10 steps, but she could have stopped actually anywhere along the line, and I'll read this to you and I'll tell you where she could have stopped to listen to the response of other people. So Yvonne Herbst's new power pitch is, I help people who are struggling to get their business found online. I do this by creating a massive digital footprint that positions them as a trusted authority in their target marketplace and funnels more ideal clients to them. She could have stopped right there. She actually could have stopped at, I do this by creating massive digital footprints. She could have stopped right there, and then the person could have asked, tell me more. And then she gave some social proof. My clients are thrilled with the extra business that flows their way effortlessly after working with me. For example, one of my clients says, before I engaged Herbst Marketing, new business came my way strictly through client referrals. After I engaged Herbst Marketing, website leads equaled the number of client referrals, and all but one became bona fide clients. I fully encourage you to sign up with Yvonne to achieve real results that will fatten up your bank account. And another says, traffic to my website increased dramatically after Yvonne redesigned and optimized my website. If you would like to know more how you can easily attract more perfect customers with less expenditure of time and effort, I invite you to schedule an appointment for a free consultation. Now, Yvonne crammed a lot of information into this pitch, but as you can see, she can easily delete some of this information. For example, she has 2 client references. She could use one or the other depending on who she's talking to. I wouldn't suggest that she try to say this entire thing, in one mouthful because it's a lot. But the beauty of this is Yvonne told me she was stuck. And after listening to the power pitch on Sunday, she got unstuck, and this is her first draft of what she wrote. So I'm really pleased that Yvonne is what we would call an action taker and an implementer. Another person is Rhoda Cannon, and she took action, and she wrote this in the group today, and she said, just wanted to thank Tamara Patzer for help she provided with revising my cold contact script. My response rate has taken off since this past Friday. It's hard to believe that just a few tweaks can make a big difference. Thanks again. Then just today she wrote, I just scored a deal with an attorney. And really the tweaks that we made, she already had a contact script ready to go. What we did is we personalized that script, and I can't show you her exact script because she has a non-compete on the script because somebody else wrote it. But what we did is we took a script and we just made it more personal, and we targeted a specific niche audience, and in this case it was for attorneys. And like she wrote, I just scored a deal with an attorney, and that deal came off of emails that she's been using with her lead finder Jack system. So I'm going to go ahead and segue now into what we're talking about tonight, which is take action, marketing implementation, Tammy Power conversations for results. And it's all about how to build business relationships that help you achieve your goals. I'll recap a little bit about what I talked about on Sunday, and this is an amazing piece of information. The average human attention span in the year 2000 was 12 seconds, but by 2013 it was only 8 seconds, which is 1 second shorter than the attention span of a goldfish. This is from Microsoft research. Now, what does that mean to you? It means you have to be able to grab the attention of your prospect, your client, your customer, or your potential person, whatever it is, the person you want to have a conversation with. You have less than 8 seconds to grab their attention and to speak to them. So I want to give you a couple things tonight about what would you say in the first 10 seconds after meeting someone. And you can apply this simple formula either in person or in an email. Think about your basic who, what, when, where, why, and how. In journalism, those are known as your 5 W's and how. Here's a simple script. Hi, I'm Tammy Patzer. So hi, I'm my name. I am a social media educator and advocate. I help local businesses get found online. The idea behind this short script is that you identify yourself immediately, and then you say who you are and how you help people. Another example might be, hi, I'm Tammy Patzer. I am a local marketing consultant. I help professionals create massive online footprints. You could say, I help attorneys. I help AC repair people. You can plug in any niche that you want into any of these little simple scripts. And again, I am focusing on local marketing consultants on this call because that's what most of us are, or we're trying to be. Or it could be, hi, I'm Tammy Patzer. I am an author publisher. I help authors I help authors write and publish their books. I have a little typo there. So if you look at this, it's a simple sentence or two that you're trying to get the person to say, how do you do that? Or interesting, tell me more. So you can simply plug in your name and information into the blanks. Hi, I'm Tammy Patzer. I am an author and publisher. I help business people get published on Amazon. I mean, I can plug in any type of information into this simple couple sentences, fill in the blank template here. Here's some more examples. I help people who are struggling to get found online. A person you might be talking with might say, well, how do you do that? And then you say, I do that by creating a massive online footprint with digital media. My clients are thrilled by their online presence and how it has helped them grow their client base. If you want to know more, I can give you a free website presence analysis and we can meet to discuss it. So this is a very concise and precise, succinct couple sentences that if you make it your own, you can easily have something ready to say at a moment's notice so that you can get somebody interested in what you have to say. But I want you to remember, they're always going to be thinking in the back of their mind, well, what's in it for me? So this really helps you to let them know, well, if they work with you, what's in it for them. Here's another example. I help people who are struggling to get people to visit their website. That is something that almost anyone who has a local ThemeJack website system that they could say. The person would say, well, how do you do that? And in this particular case, you might say, I do that by creating Facebook custom audiences for their paid advertising. My clients love the fact that they can now target their exact customers and save money. If you want to get results, we can meet. When is good for you? You could also say, I help people who are struggling with a non-responsive website. And they would ask you a question. Then you can say, well, I create mobile responsive websites. And then, of course, you can carry this on. The idea behind all of this is just to get a conversation started. And I have more about how to build on this, but tonight I just want you to focus on the first 10 to 15 seconds of what you're going to say to someone. And you really have to start thinking about how do you become what would be called a power networker or a power communicator and that educator advocate. I don't have any trouble saying that I'm an educator advocate because I come from a background of education and I've been teaching at university level for many years. But you, as a local marketing consultant, you also are an educator and an advocate for local business people. And that's how you should position yourself, because you are helping to educate these local business people about how they can get found online, and you're providing them with high quality websites or social media or content or pay-per-click advertising, whatever the services are that you offer. So you've got a lot to give. And I want you to understand that you are a resource, and that's why a lot of times a lot of people struggle with the concept that about selling, and they see themselves as a salesperson, but really you're not a salesperson. You are a consultant, an educator, advocate, and people are paying you for your solid local consulting and advice, and you happen to also provide the fulfillment pieces, which are your websites and the content and all the things that go into being found online. So I just want you to kind of change the vision of yourself from being that of a salesperson to being that of a resource, someone who's there to help people. You are the solution to these people's problems. So the idea when you go out into the world and start meeting people, let's say in a networking situation where you're meeting people face to face or even via email, the idea is that you're trying to get people to know you so that you're building trust, building rapport, creating good communication, because you've heard it before and you'll probably hear it 1,000 times again. People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And it's actually a true statement. And more people are realizing that, especially in the online world, you have to cross that border of the virtual world into the real world and help these business people integrate that. So you have to be someone who they can know, like, and trust, and someone who they can see can help them give them that great amount of online visibility. So let's just talk a little bit about the power networking process. And all of this, on Sunday, I really focused just on the power pitch, on what to say and how to say it. And tonight, I really want to expand so that you realize that what you say and how you say it is just a very small piece of this power networking process. So I am someone, I always research the people I want to do business with. I literally have handpicked my clients, so I research them so that I know whether or not they're a good fit for me. And as I've grown, I now am able to determine very quickly if I'm a good fit or not. And I learned that we don't want to take every single person who comes our way because they may not be a good client for us. So you have to start to develop this sense of who you are, and you want to develop your services and know that everything you're providing is really high quality, good stuff. You've got really high quality websites with your local theme jack websites. You have a way to find high quality leads. You have your sales dynamite jack so that you can do the results in advance. I mean, you have a really solid process. Now you have to start figuring out how to get it out there by networking and by not only relying on emails, but also getting out and talking to people. So this is pretty basic. We start with research. We want to research the company, the people, find events that you can go to. You can go to trade shows. You can go to Chamber of Commerce. You want to be able to connect, and you connect via meetings or online or video or, of course, email. You have conversations with people. Then you have to follow up, and follow up is where a lot of the scripts that I provided for you will help you, because I give you a method and templates to use to follow up that you can use for social media, you can use it for email, you can use them for in-person conversations. And then, of course, there should be an outcome, and you have to know what your outcome is. Do you want to have meetings? Do you want to get referrals? Are you trying to sell them directly online? If you're trying to sell directly online, you have to have everything set up in a row so that people could easily, for example, buy the website online. Or if you want a meeting, you want to be ready to have them meet with you. And then, of course, you want to be able to measure your results so that you know what's working. And then, of course, you always need to be open and flexible so that you can always be revising and improving. And if something works, then you do more of that. If something doesn't work, you try something else. And that would be called A/B testing, where you're constantly testing and seeing where you're going. So let's talk a little bit about some good networking skills. And I think this is important that you get the idea of you and your persona and your voice. Like, for example, right now, all I have going for me is the excitement and the energy in my voice. So think about that when you're trying to talk to people on the phone. You have to have good energy, high energy, and you want to think about how you're talking. In person, it's a little better because you have body language, and if you could see me now, you'd see I'm talking with my hands and I've got a big smile on my face. So with good networking skills, you want to have the ability to approach others, and you want to start getting comfortable striking up a conversation with strangers. And that's why I give you the little teeny 10-second pitch. Hi, my name is, I help people do XYZ. That little less than 8-second sentence that you can say, and then you can pause, and then people can start conversing with you. And then, of course, you have, like I said, nonverbal communication, posture, facial expressions, and you want to be sure that when you're out in public that you're congruent, that you act happy if you're happy talking with someone, and that you're using your hands, and that you have a lot of energy, because that energy really conveys when you're speaking. And then you want to develop your conversation skills. And this takes a little bit of time and a little bit of talent, because you have to know when to interject and talk and listen. And that's why, if you're nervous, having a practice script that where you've already practiced a few things, it's really going to help you to feel more confident and more comfortable. And of course, when you listen to people, pay attention to what they say, and if you can find things in common with people, you obviously can have a much deeper, better conversation about whatever it is. Because remember, you're trying to get people to know, like, and trust you. It's not always 100% about go to the close. It's about warming people up so that they're feeling comfortable with you. And self-confidence is really important. If you're a little bit afraid of talking to people, just practice, communicate with other people, and know that you know more about local online marketing than 99.9% of the people, unless you were talking to somebody like me who's been developing their knowledge base for years. The average person, for example, the other day I talked to a woman about, gee, you should do a podcast. She had never heard the term podcast before. So, of course, I had to explain to her what a podcast was. She had never heard the term Google Hangout. She had never heard a lot of terms related to the basics of online marketing. So just know that the odds are you're going to be someone who people are very interested in, because you have the specialized knowledge about integrating online marketing with offline marketing. And like I said, being positive is huge. When you are someone with a big smile and you're enthusiastic, people really enjoy talking to you. So let's talk a little bit about how you can do some research to get that target prospect. Basically, as you know, you can go look online in a specific niche, find the companies, the people, the products, whoever it is or whatever it is that you're trying to focus on. I highly suggest either one or two things in the local marketing. You either go for a specific niche. For example, it may be attorneys or dentists or doctors or HVAC or whatever. Know that through your local theme, Jack, you've got, I think, more than 150 niches, I think, by now. It seems like it's always growing. But you could become the expert on a specific niche, or if you're trying to be the local consultant and going to your local Chamber of Commerce or the BNI group, you might end up creating websites for, a chiropractor, a dentist, a pest control guy. That's how I started. But what happens when you do that is you have to know a little bit about all of those different niches, and it takes a lot more effort and energy on your part to really develop a really good service, because you have to know so much. But if you focus on, say, attorneys, then you just need to learn the language of attorneys or the language of plastic surgeons. But you definitely do have to do some research so that you can speak the language of whomever you're trying to attract. And you can learn the language by going to industry forums, looking in directories, going to websites, use LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is that where these people might be hanging out. You can look up information with Yahoo Finance. You can go to the public library and use your library card to get information about all types of industries and cards, or you can just choose, like I did, a specific potential client and do what I call a web presence analysis and find out, do they need you? You can find out in about 2 minutes whether or not somebody needs your help, and if they do, then you can focus on designing something that can help them. So I'm going to give you a little assignment right now, and your assignment is going to be that you're going to make 3 lists. I want you to write down all the contacts you already have, the contacts you'd like to have, any power players who can help you reach your goals, and research the best places to connect to your market and to create a schedule for visiting them. The reason I'm telling you to do this is because if you set your goals, if you were listening to Jack speak to Arlene earlier tonight, he was saying, reward yourself if you meet your goal. Set yourself up for success. Create a foundation. This is one way that you can do that. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of a challenge here, and you can always join Leads Master Pro's Facebook group and report if you've done your homework here. And what you're going to find when you start to write down the people who you want to become your customers, the odds are they will become your customers. I know that almost every person or company that I ever deliberately targeted, I did get it to a minimum. I got in the door and I had personal meetings with them, and probably more than 80% of them actually became my clients, and many of them are still my clients today because I researched them and I decided that they would be a good fit, and they were. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more information on the Take Action Marketing Implementation Power Networking, what to say and how to do it, because I want you to know that there's a lot of different ways to say things when you meet people, and also how you write up your LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to show you a couple samples here tonight so that you can get an idea of what some big guru types are doing when they put their information on LinkedIn. Again, you can use this information in person, in emails, in your personal profiles. You can use it in any way, shape, or form you decide. So one of the things that you can do is, before you go out and meet people, or before you write your emails or get prepared, prepare what would be called stock answers for questions that people may ask you. So if you're a nervous type, or if you're feeling like a little bit stuck about, like, well, who am I anyway? What are my services? I'm going to give you some ideas here about some general questions that you could either be asked or to ask people you meet, so that you'll be prepared if you are in a networking one-to-one situation. Or you can even use these if you're trying to write your scripts about how you help people. So I'm going to just give you a few samples here. And let's say that you're in a conversation. You can always say to someone, tell me about your business. What do you do? This is often one of the first questions that people ask. It's, what do you do? So if you were going to brainstorm about what do you do, start by asking these questions. What's the most unique aspect of what you do? What's the biggest goal for your business? Who are your power partners? And if you don't have any, who would they be? Power partners might be, let's say that you're in a business networking international or BNI group. Who would be the best people in that group who might be able to send you business? They would be your power partners. Often in a BNI group, you may be the marketing consultant, there may be the website provider, there may be the printer, or different people because they don't allow people to be too many things. There might be a website designer who may end up being the perfect power partner because they don't do the marketing part. All they do is a certain type of website, but you do the actual marketing. And you might be able to work with somebody like that. Another question might be, how can I help you in business and networking? So you're actually asking, how can I help you? And so that you start with a reciprocal type of a relationship. What are your primary job responsibilities? You never know who you're talking to when you meet people, so that might be a good question. What experience did you have to get your job? How long have you been in your current position? What did you do before your current job? This is just a handful of conversation starter questions that if you can be prepared, you don't have to walk into a situation and be nervous. You can also ask, what type of clients does your business attract? What type of client is your least profitable and why? These are kind of interesting questions, and some of them you may not feel comfortable asking, but other ones might be the perfect question to get somebody to talk to you. What is your biggest business challenge? Do you have employees? What's the best thing that happened to your business so far this year? That's kind of a positive question. What's a typical work day like for you? These are questions that not only could you ask other people, but you could ask yourself as you brainstorm and you're trying to develop your own personal script about what you do, what makes you unique, and what makes you special to other people. And then, of course, you could say, what are the toughest problems and decisions that you handle? Some closing requests, and asking for business calls to action are important in everything you do. When you speak to someone, when you are online, when you're making a Facebook post, a tweet, you should always have some type of call to action. So if you were talking to someone, you might ask them, what other people do you recommend I talk with? May I tell them that you referred me to them? These are questions that you might be saying if you were in a situation where maybe they're not your ideal client, but maybe they know someone who could be your ideal client, or you're asking for referrals. Can I have your email so I can follow up with you next week? That would be equivalent to, can I have your email? Can I have your phone number? Do you want to meet? When? And then, is there anyone else in the industry you can introduce me to? All of these are call to action type requests that you could end your conversation with so that it is going to move forward. And then you could say, I would like to talk further with you on this subject. What's your phone number so we can continue this conversation? Let me think about who I can introduce you to who can help you further your business goals. Know that every single question here is a little bit formal. You would need to take every question and turn it into what, if you're speaking English, into conversational English, or into a conversational language so that it's not so stiff and formal. So, but if you at least have the idea of the types of questions to ask, you'll feel a lot more confident when you're out there in the real world. Another thing that you want to do, and this is something that I talked a little bit about on Sunday, and all of this, your elevator pitch or your 30 seconds, your 60 seconds, or whatever, is all about crafting what would be called an engaging story. And even though it's just little short, it's still a story. So again, you want to always prepare what you're going to say when you meet people and practice it. Practice, practice, practice. And you want to record yourself, and you want to put a lot of energy into it until it comes off and out of your tongue as normal and smooth, as natural as possible. Well, let's talk a little bit about the so-called elevator speech. And again, I talked a lot about the elevator speech on Sunday, and I gave a lot more examples, but let's just talk a little bit about it. An elevator speech is really just a short, condensed story that lasts 30 seconds to a minute. And again, in the beginning, you really want to just say about 10 to 15 seconds worth of information, if that, because of our attention span. We're trying to get people to have a conversation. So again, you want to write a script about that imagined conversation. And again, I want to emphasize that your goal is not to just give a one-breath 60-second commercial. Your goal is to pique their curiosity. Curiosity is the key, and that leads to a two-way conversation, and it always opens. You'll know that you're having a successful opening when another person says, "Interesting, tell me more," or "Really, that's interesting," or, you know, "How do you do that?" Or they ask you questions that will help you to move the conversation forward. Again, your little speech is short. It is something that you want to think of 9 seconds to 12 seconds max. Really, if a goldfish loses interest at 9 seconds and a human loses interest at 8, you probably really only have 6 to 7 seconds. And again, you don't want to be perceived as just long-winded talking about yourself. Nothing is worse than listening to somebody talk about themselves. And you also need to be really careful about words that scream sales pitch. Avoid jargon like synergy or optimize or efficiency or ROI. You want to use simple, plain English or whatever language you speak. Simple words rock. Always use the most basic, simple words that you can come up with. And always tell people, if you use a term such as search engine optimization, that you tell them what it means. Like if you say SEO, don't assume people are going to know what it means. Like podcasts, don't assume people know what that means. Don't assume that people understand what a list is. Very few people in the, let's call it the real world, understand what a list is until you explain it, and the odds are of them having an email list are probably very small for the average local business. The larger businesses probably do have them. When you write your pitch or your script out, print it out, and I come from the newspaper world, get a red pen, cross out all of the cliches, the marketing speak, the geek speak, the tech talk, and replace it with simple one-syllable words. If you remember Yvonne's first attempt, when I wrote back to her, I told her, I said, go back and edit it, shorten it up, make it more succinct, eliminate any jargon that you may have. Here is actually a simple, this is a sample from LinkedIn, and this is actually from a guru. His name is Brian Horn. He specializes in what would be called authority marketing, and I want you to listen to this, and this is a simple I help statement, And he says, I do one thing, help entrepreneurs leverage their knowledge to gain authority status in their industry, get massive national exposure, then show how to convert the new audience into paying customers. This is his LinkedIn message, but the reason he's kind of generic is because he's speaking to entrepreneurs. So he could be speaking to anyone who's self-employed, and then he's focusing on authority status in their industry. So he tried to keep this fairly generic, but I suggest that if you know your exact niche, your target audience, make it very specific if you can. And then his credibility statement or his social proof statement is, I write for the Huffington Post on the topic of personal branding and authority marketing. I've also been profiled and featured on the Howard Stern Show, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Advertising Age, Perez Hilton, and dozens of other media outlets. Let me do the same for you. So his call to action is, here's my proof, let me do the same for you. This other message is from a person, his name is Greg Wells, and he is somebody who, he specializes in a couple different things, but in this particular case, he's using the I know it's hard, or what you'd call the struggle script. You know how it's hard to get into national publications like NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox, so you can become a celebrity in your field of expertise. I solve this. So he's using the, it's, you know it's hard and struggle to do this. I solve this. And then he says, I do this by utilizing a special insider's website and a unique press release format to guarantee this for any serious professional. You will have a LinkedIn profile picture just like mine, which will get them to choose you every time. To become a cited media expert, go now too. So again, this is on LinkedIn. So he's saying serious professional. So he's aiming towards people who are wanting to be seen as a serious professional, and that they want to be a cited media expert. So this gives you a couple ideas of how people are using this. And you want to practice your conversation with someone else and get their feedback. You can always practice. You have people in your local theme chat group. You have people in Leads Master Pro group. You can always practice having these conversations with like-minded people that are in the group. What I'm going to offer everyone is a program that I've actually designed, and I'm going to be teaching it this fall at Florida Gulf Coast University, and the college charges $250 for this course, and I'm offering it to you for the $47. And what it does is it builds on everything that I've been talking about, and I'll tell you a little bit more what I've done. I put it together in modules. So if I were teaching this, I would do one module a week, but you can, of course, do this at your own pace. So what I did is I created 10 Power Networking Pro modules. I recorded all the video training. I designed a workbook that goes through every single module, and I start out with what is Power Networking, and then I go into the key to successful Power Networking Pro, defining your purpose. So if you're a beginner, or who I would call a freshman, somebody who's just starting out trying to figure out, well, how do I get new clients and customers, and how would I use this? I start out with defining your purpose, and then in Module 3, we go to evaluating your skills so that you know who you are and what services you have. And then in Module 4, we take all of that information, your purpose and your skills, and we craft the story for successful networking. And then in Module 5, we talk about who's who, like who are you trying to target for your networking prospects. And then in Module 6, we talk about what to say and how to say it. And this is different. It has more examples and different examples than what I provided in Power Pitch. So it builds on the Power Pitch training that I did on Sunday. Then Module 7 is all about power networking and follow-up strategies and etiquette. And this is probably one of the most important modules, I think personally, because this is where we all get stuck in the follow-up. And what I've done is I've given you the templates and the training and the strategies and scripts so that it's easier to follow up, so that you're not afraid to pick up the phone, so that you're not afraid to send the email or record a voicemail follow-up, whatever you want. Then Module 8, we develop a game plan so that you can actually put all of this into play. And Module 9 is we figure out, well, how are we going to measure all this stuff to know if it's working? And then, of course, Module 10 is about how to be positive and to maintain this powerful mindset that you need to get out there, because it's scary getting out there and talking to people, especially if you're a little bit of an introvert like me. And what does that mean? An introvert basically means that, yes, you can go out and talk to people, but it uses a lot of energy. And so if you're prepared, it's a lot easier to get out there and talk to people and make arrangements either to speak to groups or to speak one-on-one. It just makes it a lot easier to do. I've put together workbooks that are in PDF forms. There's the videos, and then I'm doing a live webinar training, so you get live support each and every week for the next 4 weeks. Excuse me, 2 weeks. I have a hot seat webinar so that you can get feedback on Wednesdays and Thursdays of this week, and then next week, Wednesday and Thursday. So you could either do all 4 of the hot seats, or you could just attend one. All of them will be recorded, and you're going to get some feedback. Like if you write one script, I'll be able to help, do one script per person, and I've already set aside the time. And then when you complete it, I'll give you a certificate of completion, just like what I would give if you were taking the course at the university. You would get a certificate of completion. So you can add this training to your LinkedIn profile or your resume, and it'll actually help you with your credibility and authority that you've done the power networking training. And of course, you can get into the Leads Master Pro Facebook if you're not already a member. And I believe, let me go look here. I wanted to show this to you if I can find it. My computer might not let me. You should be able to see the actual power networking download. If you can see that, can you just write yes really quick into the question box? Okay, let's see, is anybody answering me? Yes, perfect. So this just shows you what you get. You've got your networking workbook. I'm also giving you networking resources, networking events, a big networking report, and a summary checklist. And then obviously you can't see the videos, but the videos are there. And then each one of the videos, you get the downloadable PDF key for that so that you can follow along or listen to it. So you can watch it, you can listen to it, you can read it. I made a workbook for you so that you can have it all in one place and create your own system for your power networking. So Jack probably has put this into the, into the site for you. But that is what we've got. And I'm going to go back here. And again, I'll just talk a little bit about Yvonne, because I think that this is probably the most important thing that I can tell to each one of you. You have to take action, because I can teach you, you know, it's like I can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink thing. But if you actually take the information that I provide, either in the free training or in the paid training, and you communicate with me and you participate, you can create these formulas and get new clients. Everything I teach you is the stuff that I use in order to get new clients. Like I said, I handpick my clients. I go out and I speak to clients. I practice what I preach, I guess is a good way to say it. But I'm very pleased with Yvonne, because she wrote to me and she said, I took action. And this was Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So we're talking about, she listened to the presentation Sunday and she wrote her rough draft of her power pitch presentation that night, shared it with me yesterday, and I'm very pleased that she did that. And the same thing with Rada. Rada actually asked me for some advice about a script. I told her some basic information. She tweaked it. This was on a Friday. By Saturday, she said, oh my God, I'm getting responses, when before she had no responses. She was getting opens, but nobody was actually replying to her emails. And now she says, I just scored a deal with an attorney, all based on a couple tweaks that we did. So Jack probably has the information set up. Does anybody have any questions? I did see one question. I think it was from Karen. And the answer is yes, you can use all of this training for anything you want. The question is, will this work via the telephone and webinar and face-to-face? You can use the scripts to work on writing emails. You can use, again, the scripts, the templates. I'm using those interchangeably. The Power Networking System. You can use this to help build your confidence for any situation. And any situation means it could be in person, it could be via webinar, it could be over the telephone, it could be in writing, however it is that you're trying to get clients. It could help you if you were writing copy for your website to improve the copy on your website. Because these formulas are useful, like I said, for your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, any of your profiles. You can use these because it helps you to focus what you're going to say, and the questions that I provided for you are useful for you to work on yourself, to learn about, like, what are my services. On Sunday, I talked about the different services that you might plug in to your script. For example, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, website design, website marketing, pay-per-click, pay-per-lead, Google AdWords, LinkedIn AdWords, Facebook retargeting, reputation. Whatever the services are that you are going to provide, you can plug in your services into these scripts and come up with something very quickly. And I think it's important that you realize that a lot of this is also going to help you with your confidence building, because many of us are a little bit afraid to speak to people in person or on the phone. We're a little bit afraid to take action. You know enough. You know more than enough. Rada is a good example of, she was plugging away. She sent out her emails, but she just wasn't getting any results. And it was real easy to fix what she had just by saying, oh, you just need to personalize it a little bit. Remember, if you're targeting attorneys, you better be talking attorney language if you're talking to an AC repair guy. speak in AC repair guy language. You have to do that research in order to know something about your potential client. Even if you're sending them emails, you have to know the language of a dentist. A dentist has patients. An attorney has clients. An AC repair guy has customers. Simple words like that, the difference between a patient, a client, and a customer could make the difference between somebody answering your email or not answering an email. So let's see. I'm looking for questions. Michael Jabard, the Sunday was 2 days ago. Arlene, curious about the hot seats. Okay, the hot seats are designed that during our webinar that you need to sign up with, anyone who wants me to actually give them some advice about one of their scripts, they will send it to me, and those will be the examples, and we'll talk about those. So my plan is that we will have Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and then Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And if I need to add more, I certainly can. But the idea is that every person who chooses to take action and participate will get advice on one of their scripts that I can do that. Charles Miller says, yes, it works. That's how I got my new engineering client, so I'm not sure what that means, but great. I guess there's some other information going on that I'm not aware of. Alexa, Casey, how often do people ask technical information about SE or traffic techniques? Very rarely, unless you're talking to a website developer. Most people, what they're interested in is results. They don't necessarily care how you get the results, but if you are saying that you provide XYZ services, personally in 2015, I would not be selling SEO services. I would be selling ongoing content services. I would be selling websites and hosting with weekly or monthly content updates, because the way that I present it, I don't even talk about SEO. I talk about high quality, relevant content and how Google rewards high quality content. I don't talk about SEO at all. Alexa, the question is, should you limit how many services you say you provide? In your initial conversations, yes, I would limit what the services are you offer. However, that doesn't mean that you don't start an ongoing conversation with them and say to them, after we do your website and hosting, we'll take a look at other ways that we can improve your online presence, which could include, for example, ongoing content marketing or videos or pay-per-click advertising. But if you give them too many options, they get confused and they won't buy at all. So there's a delicate balance, and so you want to have a package like your A, B, C, or your bronze, silver, gold package. Maybe your first package is a website with hosting. Maybe your second package is website hosting and ongoing content. Maybe your third package is website hosting, ongoing content with video. So you have a lot to offer, but you don't want to confuse them, because they will, until they know, like, and trust you and feel good about you, they probably will want to start off small. But believe me, once you provide them with high quality service and they get results, pretty soon you will be their go-to marketing person for everybody, and everything. Alexa's asking, what's the best way to show them results if you don't have any yet? You could do what is called a results in advance. For example, with your Sales Dynamite Jack, you can make a website, a sample website to show them. That would be an example of result, and you can make those very easily. And if you're not familiar with that, Jack can certainly give you more information about how that works. Let's see, Jimmy Hoskins, everyday language. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the conversation was, but let me look. Short. You want to keep your pitches short. Remember, when you talk to someone, you want to introduce yourself, say something, and they're going to say something back. So you're going to have a conversation, but the idea here is that you are prepared for whatever conversation. Lloyd Johnson, training is geared towards selling websites. What about website leasing? Again, I don't know how you're representing your services. So if you want to do the leasing model, then it really depends on your niche. I have found that some niches do not lend themselves well to the leasing or pay per lead model, as well as others. So what I would tell you is, depending on the niche, that would make my answer probably different. But if you have a website ready to go and you're just talking about website leasing, you certainly could do that. If you're talking about pay per lead or pay per call, I would definitely have to know the niche, because I have tried different niches and they don't all work because of the type of client. So, any other questions? So we're at 9:05, so we've been on the call now a little more than an hour. And again, if you are interested, you can go to the sales page. It's leadsmasterpro.com power-networking-special. And this is, like I said, it's a complete comprehensive course that I have put together, and it's got the 10 modules that will take a beginner to someone who has more experience. It'll just help you to really focus and define who you are, so that you know what your purpose is, what your skills are, get your story straight, and then, of course, target who you want to do business with, what to say, how to say it, give you some follow-up strategies and etiquette about how to do that, give you a game plan, give you a system for measuring your results, and then, of course, give you that positive mindset, and then give you that group to one, or me helping you in a group environment through the online webinar, where you can get some real advice. And like I said, I've created the workbooks, videos, the live webinar training. I think is probably really, really valuable, because it gives you that opportunity to bring your script into the situation, gives people the opportunity to learn from what other people are doing. And again, you can use this training to help you build your own credibility and authority as a power networker. And everything you learn in all of the training that I do, everything that you learn, you can turn around and help your clients, because as you learn, you're learning things that are just basic things that every business needs to know how to do. And at Florida Gulf Coast University, most of my students are local business people who are interested in trying to figure out how to market their business. That's why they're in the course. So if you are somebody who can go out and be that educator advocate and help them, everything that you learn, all of these scripts, you can turn around and turn the scripts that you learn to write for yourself. You can be selling that service as part of your new services to these local business people because they need it too. So there's a lot of ways that you can use this. And again, I keep going back to this goldfish thing because I just thought that was so interesting that in the span of less than 13 years of all of us being online, we lost 4 seconds of our attention span. And I know it's true because we all try to multitask. We're, it's like squirrel, we just cannot seem to keep it up. Thanks, Alexa. Arlene, how would you know what niches work well for a website leasing model? Arlene, that, for example, in the research, typically it depends on the clients, but as far as website leasing, I think that almost any niche could work, but in the pay-per-click or pay-per-call model, if you're using a website, say, to capture leads and you're trying to make money with the leads that you capture, which is actually a different way to make money. I found, for example, that niches where people are trying to educate themselves about a topic, and in particular, I learned about vein doctors, that trying to make money on a pay-per-view or pay-per-call did not work because, number one, when I did it, I didn't have a retargeting system in place. I didn't have a good funnel in place, which would have included retargeting. And I found out that everybody watching the videos, they weren't calling because they weren't in the buying mode, they were in the education mode. So if I would have had a retargeting system attached to my videos, I could have captured those leads, but I didn't. And that was just something, that was a lesson I learned from experience. Philip, no, this course is what I would call a level 2 course. On Sunday, the course that we had offered is called Power Pitch. It was very, very specific on power pitching, and this is actually a much deeper course that power pitching would be just one little module of. This is, like I said, 10 modules that if I were teaching it at the college, it would take me 8 to 10 weeks to teach, because I'd be doing one module per week, but I've already recorded all the videos so people can work at their own pace to lay the foundation to become a superpower networker as a local marketing consultant. Sharon Montague, do we have an affiliate program for this product? That's a Jack Hopman question. The dates and times, Jimmy, they're Wednesday and Thursday, and I believe the time I have set for them is 8 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday of this week and Wednesday and Thursday of next week. However, with that said, I can ask the people if they would like me to have, like, for example, Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Thursday could be another time, so that if you're in a different time zone, we could do that. Okay, let's see. Okay. Arlene, will there be an opportunity to take the same course at a later date? It'll be available, I'm sure. As far as I know, we're not planning on closing it down. It's part of the leadsmasterpro.com where all of the training products that I help produce live. So Arlene, if you're not ready for it today, that's fine. Uh, we'll be here waiting for you when you're ready, okay? So I think that's the answer to your question. Nathan, we are recording this, so you'll be able to re-listen to this once it is processed and there's a replay. So that typically takes a couple hours for everything to render, but that would be when you would be able to do that. Okay, any more questions? I think Jack has posted um, the links in the chat box. Yes, he actually has Power Networking Special, and then he also put in the link to the Power Pitch. And just to let you know, if you go into jackhopman.com, there is a replay of Sunday, and then I also recorded a 20-minute training, and I posted it earlier today, I believe. I'll have to look, but if you go into the replay, you'll be able to not only hear the entire training, but you'll also get access to the question and answer period, because people did have a lot of questions after that training. And so I did answer questions for about a half an hour afterwards that I believe are also included in the replay. The replays are going to be at jackhopman.com. That would be www.jackhopman.com. That's where the replays live. Arlene, as far as I know, if everything goes right with those webinars for the hot seats, yes, they will be recorded. David is asking about PowerPitch and Power Networking Pro. David, no, I made PowerPitch totally standalone. There are some similar things in it, but the Power Networking Pro has totally different examples than PowerPitch. PowerPitch stands alone because it actually has several PowerPitch email responses directly related to the Google Mobile Friendly update, and Power Networking Pro is more, the templates are more generic and not specifically targeting the Google Mobile Friendly update. So they are two totally different standalone complementary products. Again, PowerPitch is really focusing on what do you say and how you say it, with specific examples related to the Google Mobile Friendly update and elevator pitches and presentations. Power Networking is more of how to get out there and get yourself into any situation and be ready to create a powerful presence online and offline so that you can have a solid foundation for your power networking system to build your business. So PowerPitch is just a much more expanded part of one tiny part of the power networking system. Okay, there appear to be some support questions in the question box I can't answer. So Jack has put in the links to the Power Dash Networking Dash Special P that'll get your power networking, and then the power pitch is there, and then the replays you can find at jackhopman.com. And if any of you had questions related to, I made reference to Jack Hopman products, go to jackhopman.com and you'll be able to see all of the different products that he has related to the websites, for example, Local Theme Jack, Lead Finder Jack, the Sales Dynamite Jack, and Mobile Prospect. I mean, there's a ton of really good information and tools there, and you'll be able to find other trainings there as well. So that would be a good site to bookmark, so that whenever, like if you ever miss anything, you can always go there to find out, what the latest is. And if you don't know, if you're new, Jack is always updating all of his tools, and he does trainings regularly to help you. And then, of course, I come on board to share sales type training and to help you to grow your business by helping you get out there so that you have a solid foundation for actually growing your business. It appears that we don't have any more questions. So Jack, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you. There is one question, Ted. The website group that goes, the Facebook group that goes with Power Pitch and the Power Networking is Leads Master Pro, which is the Leads Master Pro group, and it's open to anyone who has purchased Leads Master Pro products. So you're going to find information there related to Mobile Wizard and Video Marketing Agency, Power Pitch, and Power Networking. Good group of people who participate, and often I'll add information into the files there, or videos, or I'll give additional information about interesting topics. So that is the group that goes with Power Pitch and the Power Networking. I am not making a separate Facebook group for these because I think Leads Master Pro will be the perfect place so that you can get a lot more interaction and you don't have to keep, another group for that.
Good.
But definitely sign up for the webinars. It's when you purchase, sign up, and you can either show up to all 4 or 1, but you have to do your homework in order to participate.
Very good,
I'm sorry,
Tammy.
Jack.
So, Charles, did everybody see that message what Charles Miller shared with us? Is Charles still on the call? I don't know for sure. Say yes if you are. So, Charles, do you have a headset? Do you want to share your experience, what you learned last Sunday, and have results in a day? So, Charles was on the call last Sunday, and Tammy did the training about how to create a power pitch. And this is not studied in. This is not, Charles is just live on the call, and Tammy skipped a little bit fast over it, but he used Tammy's script to prospect an engineer in fire protection or something like that. With that script, he was able to get a client. And he answered now over the phone and closed him in under 20 minutes. So I tried to simulate it, but I don't think it came across that well. It went a little bit fast. But with a 10-20 seconds opening script, it sets the tone for the whole conversation. And Tammy's scripts really worked. They worked for Yvonne, they worked for, I forgot her name, and they worked for Charles.
Rada.
Banda? Oh, sorry. So they work. So in case you need more clients, I highly recommend to use the script from Tammy and just try it out. Practice it for an hour and use it in real situations. Everybody from us, everybody, meets at least one prospect each day. And if you are able to attract attention and they're going to ask you questions, hey, I'm interested, I need more clients too. Yes, are you really able to bring more traffic to the website? When they start asking questions for you, then you only have to listen to them. You don't need to interview them anymore. They are interested in you. So I just wanted to make you aware of it. It's all up to you what you want to do with it. I don't have so much interest in it, but I wish you all the success. And I know with Tammy's training, I wish you with I know with Tammy's training, what she provide, this training, it is more or less her baby. You will have a very good script. You know what to say. You know what to ask. So if you are struggling with this, if you are struggling with making phone conversation, what to say, how to prospect, if you are struggling with, somebody is asking you what are you doing, or you want to get in contact with somebody and you don't know to ask the rest the right question, go through this training material. It is much better spent money than those WSOs which you don't give you any results. So that's my personal opinion. So I wanted to give you that view. And we are here to train you. We are here to provide you the best information we can. And I want you to be aware that Tammy is a really college teacher. So she's not making this up. You get information on a college level. I mean on a college quality. So that is not something that is made, because it sounds good. It is made because it works. So with that said, I really want to thank you guys for your attention and time. We are around in Facebook, and if you have questions, let us know. And the next training will be next Sunday. So thanks everybody for your time. Thanks, Tammy, for sharing this. And
Thank you.
I'm looking forward for your guys in Tennessee the next Sunday. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Clay. Thanks, Lloyd. Thanks, Charles. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for taking action. Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Malcolm. Thanks, Bimel. Thanks, Charles. Thank Jorge. And see you next Sunday.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ivan.